Damn, you're head stage yours, Merle.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the floor.
I'm
We're
going to
right
you.
behind you.
Don't embarrass yourself in front of your classmates.
Hello, everyone. It's been a very, very long time. Before I get started, I just want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank Derek Swingle, Wayne Vineyard for hosting and letting me put the idea in their heads about an AHS 93 30th anniversary class reunion. I am so thrilled to be here, and I really appreciate you all taking the time out of your busy family lives to be back in your hometown. Okay, so a little bit about me before I ended up in Kansas. It might drag on, but in 1984, when we were all 9 years old, I was living in Richmond, California, which was famous for the Henry J. Kaiser building, the shipyard for the war effort in World War II. It's near the water, and it's a neighborhood full of whites, blacks, and Mexicans, Asians, a cultural stew, if you will. My mom met my stepfather, Jim, who was a Vietnam veteran, originally from Kansas, while walking our dog, Guppy, too. So I went to late grade school in San Pablo, which is near Richmond, for 4th, 5th, 6th grade. It was a rough school. I got in a lot of hard knocks and trouble. So I believe my stepfather's parents were from Kansas and moved to Richmond, California to work in the shipyards in World War II. So in 1996, when we were 11, me, Geraldine, my mom, who you guys might all remember, my mom, Jim, and his son, who was my age, like he's a career criminal now. Anyway, but I didn't reconnect with him because he got let out in prison for the COVID. But we got my mom's station wagon. You remember my mom always had those station wagons, those Chevys with the 350s? Okay, cool. So we got my mom's station wagon and his 55 Ford F-150. You guys are great. And moved to Derby, Kansas. So this is midsummer 86 now. We lived in a double-wide trailer near a dairy farm outside of Derby. I really liked Derby and had a really good time there. I went to a brand new built Derby Hill School, which was brand new in 86. And dressed up as Pee Wee Herman for Halloween, which you guys all remember the VHS tape. Where's Janae? She played on the piano. Anyway, so that was really fun. I was so scared when I went to the bathroom to dress up as him, but you guys were so cool. And then I got in trouble for doing that one music thing. And then once I was late for the music thing, and they panned the camera to me because we couldn't find a ride because we were really poor because my mom was on Social Security, and we had food stamps and stuff, So anyway, thanks you guys for being so kind. So anyway, let's see. I had a couple of close friends in Derby, but I cannot remember their last names. So around November 1986, just me and Mom and Jim, my stepbrother moved away back to Washington State, which is north of Oregon and California. Exactly. So around November 86, just me and Mom and Jim moved to an old farmhouse, now a cell tower, off of Highway 160 outside of Milan. Kansas was fun for me because Mom and Dad got ducks, geese, chickens, goats, etc. After all, I grew up with dogs and cats like most city folk. When it was my first day of school at U.S.D. 359, I was scared to death. I didn't know any of you all, and Mr. Pontius, I think it was either him or Mrs. Word, made me lead the Pledge of Allegiance. I was a quiet kid. My past is checkered of feast and famine growing up. My parents were very loving but very hands-off. I was essentially raised by video games and cable TV and MTV. Babysitters, my half-sister Lisa also. So in 87, age 12 was rough for me. The stepfather left, thank God. And his veteran's income from slipping on an A-1 fighter bomber wing during the Vietnam, injured his back. Me and Mom were dirt poor sitting in the field outside of Milan. Luckily, the Pontius family of Milan and also Vicki Davis and her husband Johnny Davis helped us out a lot. I still do not have any real close friends except for the Braswell family and Bill and his brothers outside of Milan. I mean, when I lived in Milan, I only really knew them. But in 1988, I got my Nintendo Entertainment System for Christmas and started making friends with all of you. And for that, know that you're all appreciated and well-loved from me, despite the march of time and the distance between us. Sometimes I would hang out with you guys and classmates and such, and that was really cool. In 1989, we were all 14, and I got my car because we got a license when we were younger, So, sorry, you guys. The 1963 Dodge 880. Okay, it's not a Polaro or a Monaco, it's an 880. You guys have to wiki it, okay? It's an 880. But it was a rush job. So they had to take the clip of a 61 Dodge with the windshield back of a 62 Chrysler and put it together. But that's what Chrysler did, So anyway, and my life got better because I was cruising, I had that cool car, man. So Mr. McDermott's all, Mr. McDermott, our Civic Derlin was like, and once he was in the bleachers, he's all, hey, Merlyn, you got that car with that push button, typewriter push, I'm going, yeah, dude. I knew nothing about it until later on when I started researching and smoking a lot of weed. Anyway, so because my mom was not very stable, and they moved around a lot. It took a toll on me emotionally, moving all the time, having to give up my toys, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, etc. I apologize for being scatterbrained. In the summer, okay, you guys. So in the summers of '88, '89, '90, I would come back to Berkeley, California, and spend time with my dad, Eric. You guys never met, and my half sister Lisa. And I had a few friends here. I would go to Oakland Athletics MLB games with my dad at the Coliseum in East Oakland. It's a really bad, violent neighborhood out there. Museums, video arcades. The old San Francisco Mint, the beautiful state of California with its oceans, valleys, deserts, mountains, and cool ocean breeze. You guys gotta check it out sometime. It's so nice. Some of you have, so it's cool. Temperature of the state is 50 to 70 degrees, 365 days a year. The constant culture of rock, rap, music everywhere. So in 1990, my 10th grade year, I was fighting with my mom, I guess being a teen, as all of us were, and had some trouble and was put in a Wichita hospital. And then my sister and her boyfriend came to Kansas to take me back to Berkeley, California in October of 1990. I did not get to say goodbye to you all. Fast forward 2010, somehow I was missing Kansas, listening to the progressive rock band, Carry On My Wayward Son from here, from Topeka, and reconnected with Mason Cat. Mason, why didn't you show up? And of Wellington. I had not been back since 1992 now, when Mom still lived in Milan. So in 2018, I finally got back. The last 5 years, I think I had been back 4 times. By the time I am 60, I'd like to have a home in Kansas and California. If I could get some of your all contact information, that would be superb. I hold you all in the highest regards and have nothing but good things to say about you. I'm always here for you. Love Merlyn. So that's Thanks, you guys. You guys are so sweet. You guys are the best. No, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Thanks, you guys. You guys are so sweet. You guys are okay. I just want to let you know how important you guys are to me. And how important you are to everyone else, And we should do this again in 10 years. So. All right, enough with this stuff shit. Let's go. Okay, let's take some.